So the outcome of this game is not going to change our opinion on Patrick Mahomes. But he is an underdog, and he could, in a lot of eyes, be 1-2 in Super Bowls by Sunday night. Yeah, I know he's great, right? But in 7 of 8 Super Bowl quarters this far, he's been bad. He's had one non-awful Super Bowl quarter. And it wasn't great. He had a pick. He completed 58% of his throws. That was his good quarter. I know what you're saying. Colin, what are you insinuating? All right, let's go back a few months. The NBA Finals. There's a player named Steph Curry. I had to defend him going into the finals over and over. Curry, like Mahomes, is flashy. Awards. Revolutionized the game. The dynasty of note. We think of Kansas City now as the team. 10 years, we think of the Warriors as the team. Mahomes and Curry, beloved. Regular season MVPs. Both had championships. But you kept arguing with me. Come on, he hasn't checked the box. What do you mean? Well, he won with KD. And I said, yeah, he won before KD. Didn't matter. Because he didn't have the finals he owned. Right? Iggy won an MVP. KD won a couple MVPs. Curry had to win the finals, and it had to be a Curry final. Right? You told me that. You preached to me about that over and over and over. He had to check a box. Mahomes, it's interesting. Eli Manning, games like this absolutely affect legacy. If I say Eli Manning, you think winner. He was a 500 quarterback. But he beat Brady and Belichick and had iconic throws. One to Mario Manningham. Remember that ball was in a perfect location up the left sideline? And then to David Tyree, and that could have been luck. But you didn't call it luck. You called it Eli. It was magic. It's Manning. He's a winner. Not really. He's a 500 quarterback. I love Eli. But those moments absolutely make him a Hall of Fame quarterback, and they have defined him. It matters. I argued into the finals. What are you talking about with Steph Curry? He's got a finals. Pre-KD. Yeah, but Iggy got the MVP. Even LeBron outplayed him in one MVP finals, right? Even when the Warriors could beat LeBron, LeBron was out playing Curry, and you kept telling me over and over again, he's got to have his moment. In 7 of 8 quarters, Mahomes has been bad, right? Outplayed by Garoppolo for 3 of them. It matters. And they're very similar. Curry's the greatest shooter of all time, but you wanted more. Patrick Mahomes has the highest quarterback league in league history. But in Super Bowls, it's lower than Jamarcus Russell. Are we going to hold him to the same standard? Philadelphia's blown out 9 teams. When they get a lead, they play downhill. They'll keep him off the field. That's why Kansas City needs a lead. Kansas City needs a lead in this game. But if by Sunday night it's 38-24, Mahomes trailing, flailing, pushed around, 1-2 in Super Bowls, are you going to hold him to the same standard that you did, and I argued against, with Steph Curry? Now, top of next hour, I'm going to give you my pick. But there is something interesting about this game. So in college football, the margins are much wider. Everybody, I got 100 people here. Everybody knows who you play matters. When a Cincinnati gets into the playoff, a TCU gets into the playoff, everybody's like, yeah, who'd they play? All right. We don't think that matters in the NFL, right? Hey, these are pros. Okay, let's think about that for a second. The NFC, nobody would dispute this, is significantly weaker right now than the AFC, right? And Philadelphia's path to the Super Bowl was Daniel Jones for a 3rd time. And at the end of the Niner game, they were snapping the ball to a running back. So we know Mahomes had to go up against Burrow. We know the AFC's better, and we know Philadelphia got a little bit of an easy route. But do you realize this year how much of Philadelphia's credibility has been built up by a Big 12 schedule. They hit the Powerball on the schedule. They got to face the AFC South, a weird, wonky, weak division. But not only did they face the AFC South, they got the Jags early. Jags were hot late. They were a mess early, rebuilding post-Urban Meyer. And they got the Titans late, who fell apart. So they got a bad division, the two best teams, but the Jags at their weakest, and the Titans depleted. All right, who else did they play? The NFC North. Green Bay, down year. Chicago's Chicago. Detroit's Detroit. What about Minnesota? Where and when are the Vikings the very weakest? Prime time. That's when they played him. Kirk Cousins shrunk. The rebuilding Jags early, the depleted Titans late, Packers down, Bears, Lions, Kirk in prime time. And they steamrolled him. And if you start looking at who the Eagles played, what do we know about the difference between great quarterbacks, good ones, and bad ones? The score is irrelevant when Patrick Mahomes plays. Trailing 24-0, leading 24-0. Same cat. But average quarterbacks trailing and having to throw, I've said this about Baker Mayfield. Baker with a lead in a run game, pretty good. Baker trailing has to throw, not very good. So they faced Dallas, did Philadelphia, without Dak. They faced the Niners on a four-string quarterback. And do you realize 3 of Jalen Hurts' last 5 wins are against the Giants? Let me give you a rundown of the quarterbacks they faced this year. Brock Purdy, Josh Johnson, Davis Webb, Andy Dalton, Justin Fields, Daniel Jones, Tannehill, Matt Ryan, Taylor Heineke, Kenny Pickett, Davis Mills, Cooper Rush, Kyler Murray, who went into the tank. I don't know if you've heard, Patrick Mahomes is better than all of them. None of them made a Pro Bowl. I love Philadelphia's defensive line, but can I certainly make an argument facing weaker quarterbacks in the second half who are trailing and have to throw, a lot of those sacks won't be available Sunday? I'm not telling you where I'm leaning, but I think you know where I'm leaning. So in college football, you are literally criticized if you don't acknowledge who did the Bearcats play, who did TCU play. We don't think of that in pro football. But as the AFC has drafted all these Lamar Jacksons, Justin Herberts, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, NFC, I mean, Aaron's going on an ayahuasca trip in the summer. I got Brady retiring. Stafford had like 19 different injuries. Jared Goff looked like a Pro Bowler, and I like Jared Goff. But schedules matter. You go back to the last 4 Super Bowls. Generally, it's why the SEC wins national titles. They are battle-tested, close games, great teams. I don't know. Sometimes you get lucky in life. Philadelphia hit the Powerball with their lottery. Sunday's going to be close. The pressure's going to be on injured Jalen Hurts. Andy's been here before. Patrick's been here several times. Schedules matter. A lot. 3 times, Daniel Jones. Yes, it's different.
It all kicks off Super Bowl Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on Fox.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.